Our listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network.
Real Talk with Mary J. Welcome to Real Talk with Mary J on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. I am your host, Mary J. Thank you to all of my listening audience all around the globe. I hope you're having a happy Merry Monday today. We are live in the studio in the great NO. Look who we have on the show sharing with us today. I'm excited about what God is doing. We're talking about Vision to Victory on today with Pastor James Thomas and the lovely First Lady Kimberly Thomas.
Lady Sky in the building.
Yes. So we're excited to have you guys on the show. Oh my God, God is doing so much in your lives. Wow. I'm just excited about the work that He's already began in you, and you know He's going to continue to perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. You know.
Now you can't get started. You can't.
Already, right.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you all tell the people all over the world who you are and what you do?
Ladies first.
Ladies first. Well, first, I just want to say thank you for having us.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
We're so excited to be here today and to just share with you.
Thank you.
Well, I am. My husband likes to affectionately call me Lady Sky.
Lady Sky.
So
I like that.
I'm Lady Sky, and now in my life, I'm just proud to say that I'm an at-home mom, and I work for the vision of the ministry of EPIC, Eagle Point International Community Family Worship Church.
Awesome.
But I'm just serving to the vision. Yes. That's my life right now. That's my life right now, and it really is awesome, very fulfilling, and I'm just glad to use all my skill sets for what God is doing in our lives right now. Yeah. And this is Pastor. Y'all, let me just go ahead and say we're silly, okay? We like to have a good time.
That's good.
We like to have a good time, so it may come out a little bit in our interview, okay?
Yeah.
But this is my husband, Pastor James Thomas III.
Amen. That's who I am. That's who I is. That's who I will be.
That's who you are.
That's who I am, are, is, will be, all of that. Anyway, listen, man, I'm just glad to be here right now.
Yes.
Just to come full circle, man, with my big sister, man, Mary
Yes.
J. We go back. We go way back. You know, we used to work together,
good.
man, and doing ministry together. But I am the newly installed pastor of Eagle Point International Community Family Worship Church. And there's an acronym for that, Eagle Point International Community, EPIC, E-P-I-C.
I love it.
And so we're excited, man, just to be pastors of the EPIC Church.
Yes.
And not only that, I am a lover of music, but most importantly, I'm a lover of my family, man. I have such a privilege of just leading and covering and praying for and having fun with my wife, and I'm also a father.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
also, I'm a father of James Thomas IV.
Wow.
Man, that's one of my happiest accomplishments, most joyous accomplishments. Can I say something real quick?
Yes, absolutely.
What's so funny about our journey is, and I didn't know this, I didn't put this thing together, at all, but the same day that we were being installed as pastors, on August the 19th, at 4:44 p.m. That same day that we were being installed, 4 years earlier, 4 years before, 4 years prior, we actually had our first miscarriage. We lost our first child.
The same day?
The same day, 4 years prior.
Yep, in 2014, on August 19th, we lost our first child, and 4 years later, God has given us the ability to birth a new church. And I didn't even know it until that morning. Facebook memories.
It hit you right.
The Facebook memories.
The Facebook memories.
Yes.
Oh
Facebook
my
memories
goodness.
showed up, and I put the word miracle. I was believing God for a miracle 4 years ago, and it didn't happen. It didn't come through. But God had a bigger plan.
Yes.
He had a whole. Man, God had a whole nother plan, and here it is, man. God allowed us to birth this church, man.
That's such a special day for us. We found out that the 19th, specifically August the 19th, is such a special day for us because throughout the years, that particular day, thanks to Facebook memories, right?
Yes.
We began to see the things that we were doing every year on that particular day. And everything was always centered around just God, ministry. We were believing God, like we said, for us to have this first child, because I was in the midst of miscarriage, and sometimes it can work out, and sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
And then the next year, we were singing and we were ministering in the city, and then the next year we had a huge night, what we call pop-up church. We had pop-up church and pop-up worship at one of the coffee houses in the city.
Awesome.
It was packed out, and
Awesome.
we just began to see just like how special that particular day was for us. And then, like James said, you can't write this stuff.
You can't write it.
Yeah, you can't write this stuff.
Yes.
And then just to see how God brought it all together. Just that particular day, and his redemptive power, because he redeemed us that day. We might have lost one child, but I made a joke to James, but it was true. I said it jokingly. I said, we lost a child, but then you made me a mother in Zion. Come on now.
Now,
okay.
Now, and not only that miracle of what God is doing, because you asked for a miracle, and you know that child is in heaven with God, and not only that God gave you another child.
Yeah, absolutely.
He gave you another child, and then a supernatural childbirth and conception. Oh my God, isn't that just like him?
To talk about all of it, it's so much, because that's just something in itself. Even believing for our son, I think that's a whole nother show that we could have, because I would love to talk to ladies about being delayed doesn't mean that you'll be denied.
Right.
I was an older woman having children, and so I was in my mid-30s and having my first child, and you know how the doctors say, you need to freeze your eggs and you need to do this and that, and fertility is just something that a lot of women, we don't talk about, but it's major in our community.
Right.
And of course after having that first miscarriage, they're like, well, we don't know if you're going to be able to have kids, and you got this stuff going on. But God began to speak to my husband.
Ooh, I remember that day.
And let me tell you, it was it's amazing. We've been talking about this for the last few weeks about just how important it is to connect with the right person.
Yes.
See, that's like 3 or 4 conversations.
Right, absolutely.
But God began to give him vision for our family, and he began to speak over my body every day. He wrote songs. He used to sing over me every day.
Wow, you're taking me back.
Yeah, he was just, it's a faith walk.
Yes.
See, what people don't understand is that spiritual things don't make sense.
Right. It doesn't.
It doesn't make sense.
It does not. Absolutely.
The things of God are not going to always come together logically.
Right.
It doesn't make sense that you could just speak and then this.
Yeah. Right.
And that's why people say, did God really create the world just by a word?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And listen, and not only that, he spoke the word and it was so, but he's given us the power and the authority and the dominion to speak those things, into existence.
Yes.
So we're king's kids, so we have the same power and authority. And I love the way that you said that Pastor James spoke over your life and declared and decreed some things in your life to come to order and to manifest and to sing.
Absolutely.
Listen, I've watched you guys on the river, on the lakefront, having church out there on the water, you know. So a lot of times people don't always know the trenches of it all, of how did you get to where you are.
Oh, can I tell you?
Yeah, tell us. Let us hear about it.
Anybody who came to the installation service.
Yes.
Anybody who showed up there, I think the most remembered phrase of the night was during my remarks when I said, I had right there Pastor Barry, my pastor of Household of Faith, and Bishop Brister. I think the most memorable phrase that I said that night was, both of them fired me.
And all you can do is just shake your head and say, yeah.
Man, the church lit up and after, man. And after it kind of came down, but I also said, but both of them love me.
Yes.
Both of them love me. Yes. And so that really kind of sparked our journey. If I could encourage somebody, I would just say, man, let God write your story.
Yes.
That's good.
Come on now.
Let God write your story.
That's
because
good.
It seems as though we're smart. It seems like we're just geniuses, like we came up with we didn't know what was going on.
Yes.
We was just flowing with God. Like if we felt led to do something, you know, man, my wife, she would literally kick me and push me. I think the last time that I had gotten fired, man, my wife says this phrase, when we got fired, I heard a couple of rumors about us. You know, she was at a prominent church in the city, which we still love today. They support us today.
Yes.
I was at a prominent church in the city, which they still love me and support me. We able to still reach out. I think it was partly because I didn't put up walls.
Exactly.
You know, we have this thing now where when people offend us, we just cut them off.
Right.
You know, and we do this thing of just, you know, no reconciliation.
Right.
You know, but that's not of God.
It's not.
It's
not of God.
I didn't see it at that time. That rejection was really redirection. I didn't see it though.
Yes.
And I was hurt for a few days actually, especially when we lost our baby. I was actually fired around the time right when we lost our baby, but what we did was we went away to New York during Fashion Week, and we just...
Let me just say
I saw that. I saw that, guys.
Listen, it was like that happened, and we just knew we needed something to kind of recover and just kind of re-jolt, and we were like, let's go to New York and let's go to Fashion Week. It's happening, you know.
That's awesome.
And let me tell you about God. We looked at each other. We'd never been, you know. So it was just like an idea. And this is a true story. I woke up one morning and I said, let me check these tickets. I mean, it happened just like that. I woke up and something's like, check the tickets. I purchased 2 round-trip tickets to New York City for like $250. Like
good price.
2 round-trip tickets.
Wow.
You know, and I looked at my husband. I was like,
we're supposed to be there. Definitely.
She's definitely kind of like the wind beneath my wings, man. But I noticed in those moments, even while she was working, she said, you know what, babe, I want to really just kind of dedicate to the family. Like I want to give my life to the family. I want to support you guys, and you know, I'm kind of distracted by work. I want to just, you know, I want to be a family lady. I said, cool. I'm making money. I'm a musician. I'm a minister of music. Now they taking care of us. We good. And then boom, I get fired.
Right.
yeah.
And then a baby is on the way.
Yes.
So it's like, man,
So
what do you
much.
do? God, what is going on? Like, all I knew at that point, though, was church.
Right.
I knew the flow. I knew how to flow behind preachers and pastors and prophets. And, you know, I knew how to be a good pulpiteer. I knew how to establish leadership and how to grow a music ministry. I knew those things inside of the church, not really knowing that, man, God was pulling me out.
Yes.
So as I'm out, I'm kind of down a little bit. I'm sad a little bit. But my wife, she says, yes, you have Bible study tonight. What are you talking about? We got Bible study tonight. I got fired from the church. I don't have no Bible study tonight. This girl sent out a phone call. Hey, Courtney. Courtney is watching. What's up, Courtney?
Hey, family.
Boy, this girl called some friends, and we were literally on the lakefront, and I was teaching Bible study on the lakefront.
Wow. You see, that's what I'm talking about, from vision to victory.
Yeah.
And Kimmy said something that was so on point, that was key in the beginning. When God connects you to the right person, when God put the right people in your life, you know, just, I remember, you know, I got fired too, by the way. So, so you weren't by yourself. You know, but as you said that, you know, you said rejection is redirection. I love that, because I've always said that rejection is God's protection.
Yes.
Because a lot of times we will hold on to certain things and people not to burn bridges, keep the relationship flowing, have that reconciliation, and keep going, because God is pulling you from something because he's trying to get you to something. And sometimes when we become comfortable in what we already have, God cannot birth what it is that he has in us, because we'll be so comfortable and complacent with holding on to what is. There would be no Real Talk with Mary J. There would be no Mary J. Ministries. There would be no Women of Treasure Conference.
Exactly.
Because I had Women of Treasure Conference. It was birthed in 1998.
Way back. I remember you been talking about Women of Treasure, man.
But I could not give birth to it because of where I was presently. So God would pull you out of some things. Of course, you're hurt, you're wounded,
of course,
you know, you're broken, and then, but God has a way of taking all of those broken pieces and making a masterpiece. And I remember the first day that Kimmy walked into the service.
The Crystal Palace.
The Crystal Palace.
2012.
Bishop Brister called her up to come and sing. Literally, I don't know if he remember, but when you walked up to go to sing, I looked at him, and it was all over him. It was as though he saw a halo, like, who is this goddess, you know, this angel? And I told him about that afterwards.
Wait, why you turning in your seat? I
told him about that afterwards. And so listen. So I say all the time, when we talk about our Boaz, and everybody claims to be Ruth, but Ruth goes to work, Ruth labors, Ruth worships, Ruth prays, Ruth stands in a gap, and Ruth has to be by herself. Sometimes God will isolate the roots to put you into that field and walk on untapped. I said it at the conference. We just had our phenomenal Women of Treasure conference that was so powerful. But I said that sometimes you don't always understand your path. But God takes you and he places you on a road by yourself. You know, I tell people all the time, I'm lonely and I like it. And they be like, that's not good. It is good. It is good. Because what God is doing in you and through you, he has to get you to that place where he can have you on this path by yourself, where you seem like you're in a strange land. Like, how did I end up here, God? I can't trace you right now, but I can trust you.
Absolutely.
So I love what God is doing in you guys. I love the whole vision to victory, because he had a vision. God birthed it in Pastor Thomas. He saw you and he knew.
And she was right there.
I remember him telling me, I just think that, I was like, you're gonna know. You're gonna know. You're gonna know. So that is wonderful.
Man. I thank God, man, for sending me such a wonderful wife. I think my thing is using her as an experiment of servanthood. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if I'm gonna serve all of these people, it's got to start at home first. You know what I'm saying? She's got to experience my servanthood first.
That's right.
You know, and so that's what I thank God for. And also another concept that I try to put in action is that I also believe that I am God's love to her. Like, God's love is through me to her. So, you know, there are times I can't just look at it as just Kim. I can't just look at it as just Kim Sky or just my wife. That's God's daughter. And here it is, I'm walking side by side with her. So if God wants to love on her, he got to use me to love on her.
That's right.
You know, in spite of how I feel, in spite of what I may be going through or what I might be dealing with, or in spite of even if she made me upset or angry. Because, I mean, she's not perfect.
No, I'm not.
She's not perfect. We're not. She's not perfect.
And we're emotional.
You know, neither am I. You know, I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. But one of the, I think the biggest parts that I'm learning, and we're people of prayer. You're a prayer person. I've heard your intercession. You know, I've sat under your prayers. You know, we're people of prayer. But I think the center of prayer is surrendering our will. You know, thy kingdom come.
That's right.
And thy will be done. I think that's the center of prayer. And I think the greatest part of God's will is for us to come to him. You know, that's the main thing he really wants.
Waiting on us.
So we in our journey, man, I actually took a little hiatus out from church, because in my mind, I'm church hurt. You know, it was a whole year that I sat out and just was, you know, But then after around about that second year, I kind of started getting involved in the community.
Right.
So we serve as the campus ministers at Georgetown Community.
Okay.
So I'm there teaching Bible studies.
Yes.
You know, we're doing a Bible study on one Tuesday, and then we're doing prayer on another Tuesday, and we're doing back to school stuff, and we're doing neighborhood night out against crime, and movie nights on the lawn.
I saw you guys all overseas.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And
yes.
and that's just
she
like
put
God.
me on that. She introduced me to international ministries. When I had met her, she had already been in Africa, Asia, South America. I said Japan, that's in Asia. What else?
Yeah, it's fine.
Russia, you've been to Poland,
yes.
right? So, I mean, so I had not had that experience. I see people on Facebook saying, well, what makes an international church an international ministry? Well, when your mission is international.
Exactly.
You're reaching beyond just, and see, I'm a New Orleans boy. I love New Orleans.
Right.
That was all I had done, you know.
Right.
But she took me, you know, across the waters. Of course, even with Bishop Bristol, man, we traveled the world together. And until you do that, you may not ever understand what makes an international ministry.
But let me speak to that too really quick because it's about faith. And that's what people don't understand. It's a faith walk, and we have the power to speak those things into existence. I remember when I first started doing ministry, there were a few things, just simple things. Number one, you can't say you have an international ministry if you don't have a passport. Okay, let's just start right there. All right, you got to qualify for international ministry. Okay, get your passport, number one.
That's right.
So being a military, growing up a military brat, you know, I had already had the bug for travel because my dad was in the Army and we lived overseas. My youngest brother was born.
Shout out to Apostle Addison Wright.
Hey, family. We had, my youngest brother was born in Germany, and, you know, we lived all over. But
shout out to Big Chris.
And today is his birthday. Happy birthday, baby brother.
I don't know if he's watching. Happy birthday, Chris.
Yeah, but I love it. And international, Kimmy said first, get your passport first. You know, get your passport. And I think God gives you the vision before it's manifested. Because people look and say, well, what's international about it? But it's already in you. It has to be birthed in you first before you can begin it. We're going into commercial break. You're watching Real Talk with Mary J. I am your host, Mary J. I'm in the studio with the lovely First Lady, Kimberly Thomas and Pastor Thomas. We're talking about vision to victory on today. Go share right now. Share, like, tag someone to follow us and tune in to this great show. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
Hi, I'm Prophetess Charlene Duforce.
And I'm Bishop Carol Duforce Sr.
And we're from Living Witnesses Ministries.
And we also have a program on the internet called Living by the Word Daily. And we're seen every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon Central Time on the New Orleans Talk Network.
And we would like to invite you to tune in with us every Wednesday morning. Again, 11 to 12 noon Central Daylight Time. Please join us as we teach the Word of God. Thank you, and God bless.
God bless you.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
back from commercial break. You guys, you've tuned in to Real Talk with Mary J, all the way from NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. I am your host, Mary J. Welcome. I hope you're having a happy Merry Monday today. I sure am. I am in the studio today with First Lady Kimberly Thomas and Pastor James Thomas with the Epic Church. They just planted and installed their church on today. So definitely you can give shout outs to everybody you want to give shout outs to.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Deshaun. Deshaun is watching. What's up, dude? I heard you was in the city this weekend, man. Definitely want to give a shout out to Courtney, man. Courtney's watching. Courtney is one of our praise and worship leaders, and but more than anything, man, she's just been a great friend.
Oh, she's a friend.
Man, Courtney has been there since the beginning, since day one. She's been there, just been a prayer support, a worship support, and just a good friend support to my wife.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to give her a shout out because she's watching. Lisa Ricardo, all the way from Houston, Texas, is watching. Just want to give her a shout out. She's been knowing me since I was a 14-year-old boy.
Oh, wow.
And then our friends from Texas, Blaine Bernstein, and they came down a few summers ago for the summer camp.
Yes.
And they're watching. So we just wanted to kind of give a little shout out. Minister Power is watching. Just wanted to give a little shout out to you guys, man. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Make sure you guys you share, let people know that we're on talking about our journey from vision to victory.
Yeah.
And just another reminder, too, the name of our church, our new church plant that we've done, our first church plant that we've done is Eagle Point International Community Family Worship Church. Man, bring your family out. Starting September 9th at 9 a.m. We will be right there at 630 Jackson Avenue. Bring your family out. It's a place for the kids, man. It's a place where you want to bring your sons and your daughters.
9
a.m.
Give them
September
the date,
9th.
September 9th.
September the 9th.
So let me just make this clear. Next Sunday, we will be there, but it'll be at our time, 1:23.
Our 1:23 time.
So we've been having service at 1:23
pre-launch
and
services.
Our pre-launch services. So starting September 9th, we'll go to our 9 a.m. time. And that's because, it's for real over here. It's real in Saint season around here. So we got to have a 9 a.m. service so people can get their Jesus and then go get their saints.
Right.
The Savior and the Saints.
Yeah, the Savior and the Saints. That's good right there. That's good.
That is wonderful. I hear when you said that all of these people who are behind you, one thing that I've watched too in your ministry is seeing the support of your family.
Oh, yeah.
How your mom and dad and your siblings are there supporting
my grandmother.
you. Oh, yeah, grandmother.
She'll be 80 next month,
oh,
by the way, God's willing.
Really?
She'll be 80. But they're right there. My aunt, my uncles, they're serving deacons.
Yes.
They're right there,
That's
man.
a blessing.
Yes,
that is a
indeed.
blessing because when
Yes,
real ministry, as you said before, starts at home.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And when you have that core of family at home that you can pour into, and because they know the real you.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
They know the stubborn you.
Yep.
They know, the hard head. They know all of the stuff. So if you can reach your family and they're behind you and you go for it, because you guys were on the lakefront and you had your family there. You had followers there. I'm like, this boy is on the lakefront and already has a church. There's a full-fledged church out there on the river, on the water.
And can I tell you, I was running from the pastorate
Yes.
for over 3 years.
I know.
Surrendered 3 years
I
ago.
know.
But before that, I was running even when we was there at Beacon Lake, the Crystal Palace. Man, I used to tell Bishop all the time, I was like, man, I just want to be a good number 2, just as long as I'm on the championship winning team.
Yes.
You be Michael Jordan, I'll be Scottie Pippen. Let's just do that, But man, we didn't know what God was doing. We just was just surrendering, man.
And we like to think that we were that smart to be that innovative and be outside and all those things. But to be honest with you, when you're surrendering to God and you're just trying to obey, like James said, Pastor James said, like that very first time that we came together for Bible study, called friends and family, and I just, said, hey, we're going to be outside. This is what we're going to be. And I just said, you have Bible study tonight.
We started with 7 people.
That's a blessing.
We started with 7 people.
And being out there,
growing,
it was free.
Man.
That's why
free.
we went out there. It was free.
Exactly.
Put a peg right there now.
Exactly.
You don't need money to start.
You
Come on.
You don't need money to start. Like somebody got a dream, you got a vision, you have an aspiration. You don't need money to start. You don't need money to research. You don't need money. So for us, I didn't have the money to rent a building. So what did I do? I go out to the park. It's free.
That's right.
There's some young pastor out there right now. Well, let me back up. First of all, I didn't just promote myself. I didn't just jump out there. I resisted this thing for a long time. And because I kept the right relationships with these guys, man, they were able to send us. They were able to push us out there. But when it's time to start, man, I didn't have no sound system. I didn't have no generators to hook up no keyboard and all that kind of stuff. So, man, I went and got me a couple of horn players. And, you know, I'm a musician, so I use what I got. I have creativity, so I'm going to use creativity. I taught horn players worship music. And, man, they would play this worship music. It would be horns, but they would play them like strings.
Yeah.
You know, and the horns get going, and they would attract more people that was outside and get a grill going, put some charcoal on it, and nothing but hot dogs. But them people smell that grill, they come, you know, they smell food, they hear music, they coming. And so that's how we got started 2 years ago, 3 years ago, just in the community. And my brother was another big part, Jonathan Thomas. My brother, he ignited the creativity within me, you know. He was the one that gave us the idea called Sunset Mindset. You know, another person that was behind this is a young lady.
I loved it.
Named,
Sunset Mindset. I loved it.
Get your mind right.
Get your mind right.
I loved it.
And watch this. It was really Bible study. That's all it was. But we just didn't call it Bible study.
Exactly.
It was Sunset Mindset.
You know, but you know, the gift is already in you guys. It's in you both. God has given you the gift, talent, and the ability. So the innovativeness, the creativity is, you know, it's all God because the gift is already there. And then to be yoked up with such a power partner, you know, with so much gifting herself in the talent. This girl can sing. She can sing.
She can sing. She can administrate.
Yes.
You know, she's creative.
Exactly.
You know.
And just look at the love that she has for God.
And people.
And people, of course, and just knowing that where she is and where God has placed her. Did you ever think, Kimmy, that you would be married to a pastor?
No. You know, when you grow up in this environment, people say, you know, oh, you look like a first lady. You look like somebody that could be married to a pastor. But in my mind, I was very entrepreneurial. I wanted to marry a boss. You hear me? I wanted to marry somebody that had the same type of ambition in business. You know? I wanted to be married to a businessman that, you know, that was just in my mentality. And but God knew best, man. I just say to those ladies out there, you better thank God for the prayers He didn't answer, because I just don't know where I would be, what I would be doing if God had not connected me to my husband. And my husband is a boss. And my husband is a businessman. That's what I'm saying.
Shout out to my dad. My dad, James Thomas, with Liberty One Realty. Man, if you're trying to sell your house, he's the guy that will get it done. James Thomas. Give him a call, 504-246-7926. So
you better have this commercial, boy. Live commercial.
He's been in business for over 35 years. You know, and that's what he's been doing, real estate. I mean, man, the dude he's just a genius at it. If you want to get into flipping property, you know, he's been doing it, you know, and so that's who really gave me the business itch, him, and then he pushed my mom into business. My mom owns her own mortgage company, so he finds the houses and sell the houses. She helped you finance and afford the houses. So, but yeah, you did get a business guy.
Oh yeah, I really did. But let me just say this too to ladies out there. I was a woman that was very ambitious in business, and I wanted to, you know, just. You know, I grew up in a home with my father. I had 4 brothers. I'm the only girl, and so I wasn't the type of woman that said I don't need a man. Okay, I need a man. Okay, I need a man. I have men all around me in my life, and I knew the benefit of having that in your life. But I married a man that I could submit to. That was the other thing, and that's a word that's kind of, you know, people don't want to, you know, that's like a curse word in the women world. You know what I'm saying? But if you understand real submission and covering and order and how God, see, this is what I learned. If I can submit to the order of God, God looks out for me.
That's right.
That's good.
See, there would be times that I would look, you know, my husband would be making a certain decision or something, and he'd say, what you think about this? And my answer would be, I trust God. Because in my eyes, sometimes I'm saying, I don't see how this is going to benefit us, or I don't see how this is going to work. But it's okay because it don't have to in my eyes. Because I trust God.
That's right.
I would just pray, and then my husband would come to me and say, hey, what you think about this? And of course, on the side of me, I'm like, yes, yes, because it's like, he's answering a prayer, I didn't have to fuss. I didn't have to nag. I didn't have to fight.
Right.
I just prayed, and God influenced his heart to move in a particular direction. God did it.
That's it.
I didn't have to do it.
Right.
And there is a rest. Ladies, let me just tell you something right here, okay?
All right.
Let me school you. Okay, let me put you on something right now, okay? Listen to me. There is a rest that God wants to give you in your life if you can submit to his authority and to his structure. There's a rest.
Right.
I tell people all the time, I joke, when I resigned from Greater St. Stephen, I always tell people, I retired. It's like, I retired,
Right.
I retired. I don't work. You know, the things that I'm doing now.
You do work. You just don't have a
But
job.
Yeah, there we go. What I was going to say was,
You have a job.
She has a business.
Yeah.
She's running a business.
Boy, you work,
I
girl.
call them domestic engineers. We have a whole lot to do, and that's work.
Yes, it is.
Just to be in an alignment with God's will and his word, and to submit to your husband, and to rear your children, and to serve your first ministry. That's a business. That's a job.
It is. It's work.
And it's
work
24/7.
I do, babe. I do.
The way she loves on God's people, the way she even serves the vision,
Right.
Yes.
man,
Right.
she works.
Yes.
She's not one of those first ladies that wear the big hat and the high heels, and man, she come to church. She got a t-shirt on. She got her tennis shoes on. She's hugging people. She's running after kids.
I always say real ministry reaches. It reaches.
She's really a servant leader. Like we have other people that serve, but she leads the way in that.
Right.
And I love it, man. I love it. I don't know where I would be without it, man.
I love it.
You work. You
I
definitely
do.
work.
I
You just
do
ain't
work.
got no job.
I do work. But I just want the ladies to know, though, I say that because it's like when it's fun.
Yeah.
So it is work, but it's fun.
Right.
And it's fulfilling work.
Exactly.
It's fulfilling work.
Exactly. When you're passionate about what you do, it doesn't feel like work.
And that's why I say
Right.
I'm tired, because when I want to go to sleep, though, I'm like, honey, I'm off today, okay? I'm off today.
Yes.
Amen.
I make those jokes, but I'm serious, though, to those ladies out there. I really think it's important for them to understand the importance of submission.
Right.
And being able to submit to a vision, because the man has to have a vision.
That's right.
And he's got to be worthy of your submission.
Absolutely.
Biblically worthy, not what your girlfriend said is worthy.
Exactly.
And we submit one to another.
We do.
We submit one to another. That's what the Bible tells us to do.
Absolutely.
We submit one to another. And although the man is the head of the woman, Christ is the head of the man.
Yeah.
Right.
So whenever the man is out of line, man, I just believe, you just got to talk to God about it, and God get us together.
Yeah, absolutely.
He put us straight, especially if you want to keep your relationship with God.
Right.
He get us straight.
Yeah, I want to talk about when we come back from break. I want to talk about just a quick synopsis of our journey and just kind of some of the wisdoms that we learned from vision,
go real quick,
and then and into how we got to this victorious place. I guess we're not all the way there.
Go for it real quick.
Go for it real quick.
I don't know if she wants to throw it, like rush it, right? That's what
So
she
that
said.
means we're gonna have to come back to that.
So we're going to come back, and we want to hear about it, so you can kind of walk us through that, because we're talking about vision to victory on today. Vision to victory with First Lady Kimberly Wright Thomas and Pastor James Thomas on today. Epic Church. Epic Church. All right, we'll be right back after this.
I got it.
And I want to encourage you to join Church Without Walls every Monday morning from 11 a.m. to 12 noon.
And we want to encourage you to promote God's plan and not man's plan. Don't you dare miss it.
Hello, this is Dr. Glenda E. Williams.
This is Charles Stewart. Dr. Anthony Williams.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Oh, how the time flies. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, And can you believe that it has been 1 year since Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions hit your airwaves? We have interviewed authors, entrepreneurs, playwrights, musicians, and everyone in between, all to bring you the best in literary conversation. And we plan to do it again this year, but only better. So join us right here in the Literary Lounge each Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. See you there.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Welcome to Real Talk with Mary J. I hope you're having a happy Merry Monday all day long. We're right here at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time on NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. I am your host, Mary J. We're back from our commercial break, and we're sharing with the lovely First Lady Kimberly Thomas and Pastor James Thomas at Big Church. We're talking about vision of victory. So listen, you guys, you all have taken us on this journey as it relates to what God is doing, what He has done, and what He shall continue to do. I just love your story, and I know I'm already going to have Kimmy to come back on here because, you know, when I talk about submission, you know, I tell ladies all the time, you know, it's not a bad word. You know, submission would take you to your blessed place. Yes, it would take you to your place of grace. You know, so I thank God for submission. You know, if you all go back and follow my YouTube channels, you'll see I talk about it. You know, there's one called Saved and Sexy too. So we're going to, we talk about it, girl. We talk about it. You know?
See, that's why I said, girl, we got to come back and just have a girl. We can have real talk, girl talk.
Right,
okay?
Right.
Talk about all that.
So this precious woman of God is talking about just how she have submitted to her husband, submitted to the vision and plan that God has for her life and what God is doing. And it's so needed because everybody, I said, wants a Boaz, but we don't know what happens behind the scene, the sacrifices that we make, you know, the things that we go through. But in this time that we have to close out, why don't you tell the people about your journey? Because it just didn't happen.
No,
you know, like
it's been years in the making. It's been years in the making. We started out there at the lakefront. Didn't know what we were doing, was just being creative, and we started having a Bible study with 7 people. Over time, it began to grow. Then the mosquitoes came out, and my wife was like, look, we got to go. I said, girl, hush up. I'm teaching the word. We didn't bring no music out, by the way. We started out with just the word. And she came back and complained again. And I said, girl, hush up, man. I'm teaching the word. We're trying to get this thing going. Now, this was her thing. She pushed me to do.
She put you out there,
you know
right?
what I'm saying? But now I'm gone.
Let me just say, I had just had a baby. So I had been outside.
And you were out there with the baby.
I'm attending with my newborn, you know, maybe 4 or 5 months old. And when those mosquitoes came out, I just politely said to him, I said, I will, me and your son will not be attending.
And I said, well, we got to change this thing up real quick. We got to move this thing. We got to move this thing.
Continue on, but me and your son, we will not be attending because these mosquitoes are real.
I said, well, my son getting ate up by mosquitoes? Oh, no, I can't have my son getting ate up by mosquitoes. So then we moved it inside to the clubhouse at Georgetown. And, man, I mean, that thing, we outgrew that little area. I'm saying little, but it's a nice space. We outgrew that space really quickly. It was just teaching the people of God, you know. Then my brother inspired us. He started this thing called the Walk for Love. So it was really a setup, really it was. They didn't know what it was. Yes. We would walk through a certain area of the city, whether it be downtown, whether it be New Orleans East, and we would meet up and we get to a spot and I would just share a quick little 10-minute message, you know, and pray with the people.
Innovative.
Pray with the people, you know.
Then we started doing Bike for Love, which is the same thing. So we would do.
We rolled through the CBD
with the bikes and
with the lights,
and all those different things. And these were things.
I don't believe you should reject culture. I believe you should redeem culture.
That's engage and redeem culture. Absolutely.
So we did the bikes and had the lights.
And this was years ago. It was years ago. So and I'm throwing that out there because it's kind of been a fad now.
Right.
You know now, but it's like, man, we were doing this couple of years ago, just not even knowing what God was trying to set up within us to be that innovative. And then after we started doing that, we began to just kind of do this pop-up worship, pop-up church, and we started connecting with other community partners and having it like at barbecue places and coffee shops.
Shout out to James Welch and Harbor Community Church. I want to give him a shout out. He's another church planter in the city. He's doing great things for God.
Yes.
But when he came in, we were able to take it to another level.
Absolutely.
You know, restaurants start off with a pop-up restaurant, or people who sell clothes start off with a pop-up boutique. So we did pop-up church. I had never heard of it before. We had never done it before.
I love it.
And still running at the same time. You know, still trying to surrender, work out that surrender. So we did that. We did a few pop-ups. We did the lakefront pop-up. We did barbecue joint pop-ups. We did coffee shops, worships and coffee shops. Shout out to Pontilli Coffee, which is one of our advisory pastors. We have five pastors that we hold ourselves accountable to. Pastor Eileen Johnson of Grace and Glory. I love have that diversity. I want to have a female in the mix to be able to speak into our lives. Pastor Bob McLean out of Alabama, who's kind of like our
Living by Faith Ministries.
Yeah, he's like our marriage
accountability
partner. Of course, my pastor, Pastor Antoine Barrier, he's just a man of faith, man. He's not going to let me settle. He's not going to let me,
awesome.
you know, he has a great marriage, even himself. You know, he has a huge men's ministry. We just got back from a major men's retreat. Pastor Brandon Bilbo from Cross Church of Homer, he's been a big brother as it relates to just church planting. He's been doing it now for 4 years, have 2 locations, 400 members. He's just growing out the seams. And then, of course, who did I miss?
You said Pastor Mel?
Pastor Mel Jones, of course, he's a businessman and just really, really great, but ultimately a man of God that loves people.
Yes, and we just want to encourage people out there, as Pastor James already said, when you have that vision, you know, you think you need all these things, but all you need is faith, and all you need is to be able to take a step. God's not even telling you to take a leap. He's telling you just to take a step. And we want to encourage people out there to just take a step and watch God move.
Watch him move. Won't he do it?
He'll do it, girl.
Won't he do it?
Won't he will?
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Thank you all for coming on. Did you have a happy Merry Monday?
Real talk was good. Real talk was real good.
Absolutely.
We gotta be
real
back.
Talk. Happy Merry Monday, you guys. We'll be right back here, same place, same time, NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, all around the world. Have a happy Merry Monday. Thank you all for coming on.